I'm staying focused on what I'm gonna be. I'm making it down, but I won't lose God. 'Cause I'm still stuck in my destiny. I'm still stuck in my destiny.
Every time it's on everything, the life you choosing, I'm cheddering. No matter the form of the weaponry, gotta keep stalking my destiny. Time's getting worse, I'm bettering. My sin is secure, ain't no tethering. I ain't gon' stop till I rest in peace and they put a hold on my great lettering. Every time, I ain't lay back unless I'm in my 300. Circle is little, cause I keep it 100. Minus my issues, I'm so hard when I'm on it. 100% ain't enough, I get 200. Every time, know what I'ma run from. I'm that one opponent, you don't want none from. Manual van where my strength get pumped from. So let's go ride to a child of God. Standing toe to toe, no hot now. The Lord is with me, you can't fight the rock. I got the sauce, you want out of high. The destiny mine, I'ma stalk it out. The strength assassin, you just bought it out. Your giant carcass, I'ma walk it out. You gon' be wishing that you wouldn't have called me out. Cause every time be on that throw down, let's get us a showdown. Come and get some, I got another go around. Big as they is, so hard they go down. Since destiny something we can't change, but quitting will stop you from great gains. And faith will make capable great things. I done decided to break pain. Lives around and call me on my A game. So speed like the A train. The group that I'm stalking on, I gotta maintain. I'm by myself, I don't gang bang. When you want to get in my crown, then I'm down every time, not just now and then. Yeah, I heard you got your thousands, but me, yo, I got my 10,000s. God gave me dreams doing that I would chase them.
I'm steady chasing, I'm staying focused on what I'm gonna be. I'm making it up, but I won't lose God. 'Cause I'm still stuck in my destiny. I'm still stuck in my destiny.
Good afternoon, BFAM 1096.com. Good afternoon, Facebook. Good afternoon, YouTube, or wherever you are tuning in. This is Tea Time with Tara, live and on air. I am your host, Tara M. Williams, the voice of faith, hope, love, and leadership. Here we discuss business and Bible basics. We believe you have a voice and it needs to be heard. Please be sure to head over to my YouTube channel at Stalk Your Destiny and hit the subscribe button. Also, don't forget to hit the notification bell so that every time we go live, you'll be notified. While you're there, check out other episodes of my Tea Time with Tara show where I interview guests and ask them what they need on their journey to stalking their destiny. You can also check out any of the shows live and on air that you may have missed in the past, or just want to refer back to at my YouTube channel at Stalk Your Destiny as well. Again, I am Tara M. Williams, the voice of faith, hope, love, and leadership. This is Tea Time with Tara, live and on air. Welcome. So how are y'all doing today? I'm a little bit tired, so the show, I'm going to be a little slow today. My energy is down a little bit, but how are you doing today? Be sure to comment below and let me know how you're doing today. Our food for thought quote for today, we're just going to get right into it. Oh, I'm sorry. And let me shout out any sponsors for today. Okay. I do want to shout out Stalk Your Destiny, y'all. Yes, I am the owner of Stalk Your Destiny, and I want to shout it out because life is really about going after what it is you desire for yourself. Life really is about going after your destiny, and at Stalk Your Destiny, we are connecting you to your destiny one step at a time. And at Stalk Your Destiny, we believe that everything you want to become, you already are. And what does that mean? That means that as a life coach or chaos coordinator, I help you not only go from point A to point B, but figure out what is point A and point B for you in your life, what's holding you back, what obstacles you need to overcome, and how to overcome those things. So shout out to Stalk Your Destiny. If you want to know more about that, you can just Google it, Stalk Your Destiny, and all of the platforms and things will come up. And if you'd like this sponsor shout out space as well, I'll tell you more about how to get that at the end of the show as well. So let's go forward to the food for thought quote for today, which says the biggest issue with vision boards is that we create a false reality for ourselves rather than a real visual of our futures. I'm going to say that again. The biggest issue with vision boards, and I might get in trouble for this and I don't care, okay? The biggest issue with vision boards is that we create a false reality for ourselves rather than a real vision of our futures. Now, this is a loaded quote, okay? And this quote came from my book Permeate. But the thing about this is that literally with vision boards, we think that, oh, this is how I imagine my life. Like, this is one day I want to get here. And we don't recognize that every year you create a new vision board. We don't recognize that you're not actually reviewing your vision boards from the past, and you're not aligning your actions with those things. And so creating a vision board typically is a surface behavior. Okay. It's just the superficial things like, oh, I want to drive this car. Oh, I want to do that. And then when you're a person who actually has these goals in mind and you create those things, other people look at them like they're too far fetched, like, oh, you'll never get there. So your faith and your actions aren't adding up with that. And honestly, to create a visual of your future, a real visual of your future and what your future could look like, you've got to be willing to look at who you are today. You've got to be willing to look at what does it actually take for me right now in order to get to that vision. Okay. And I'm saying surface stuff because people are like, oh, I want to get to 1,000 likes on social media. I want to get to the head position in my job. I want to make X and Y, Z amount of money, even though we're not putting ourselves in a position to do so. And that's where the problem becomes, that's where the problem comes in. Vision boards are mostly fluff. Oh, let's cut these pictures out of the magazines. Oh, let's cut these words out of the magazines. Oh, let's have such and such speaker come in, right? All of those things sound good. And all of those things can be used for good. Typically, though, we don't talk to people when they leave the vision board parties, And so, in not talking to people when they leave the vision board parties, you're left with these ideas of fancy that you never materialize, and you never bring those things into fruition because you never face that you have to grow up. You never face that there's some things you got to leave behind. There's some habits you've got to overcome and leave behind. And there's some new habits you've got to put in place in order for these things to happen. So it's almost like planting a seed and waiting for the harvest. You can't wait for a harvest for a seed you didn't plant just because you hope that there's flowers in your yard next year. Okay. So the biggest issue with vision boards is that we create a false reality for ourselves. And even in doing that, we're better at creating a false reality. So many of us use filters on our photos, on our videos, on our live streams. We lie to ourselves daily, even using our cameras and not having them directly mirror us for where how we look. Sometimes you want to see the other side of it versus the actual of what you're looking at. Okay. And I think that's called inverted. I think we look at the inverted portion of it. And so lying to ourselves is easy. Creating a false reality is easy because we can navigate a false narrative. We can live with let me take these off. We can live with the lies we tell ourselves. Some people can, and some people would call them white lies, while others would just say, oh, it's just no big deal, but it is, because one pivot away from your true authentic self is still another step closer to a distorted life. It's a life of delusion and things like that. And so we've got to focus on a real visual of our futures. Does that mean that who you are today directly shows who you will become tomorrow? Absolutely not. People can change. People can change drastically, but they've got to make the decision for it and do it over time. And by that, I mean that, someone with really bad habits, and let's just keep it simple. Let's say you're an alcoholic and you don't want to drink anymore. Okay. That's a drastic change. In a year from now, I don't want to have any alcohol. A year from now, I don't want to be considered a drinker. That's a really big thing. But guess what? That's realistic because you have to put in the actions in order to do that, or let's say, I'm just saying those things you want to stop, right? You want to stop doing those type of things. So if you want to stop doing something and you say a year from now I want to be X, Y, and Z, then okay, cool, right? But and even thinking outlandish, like I said, thinking outlandish is not unrealistic. Having the capacity to go forward in that is what may not be realistic. If you don't get to check you and your inner man, then those pretty little pictures or those fancy cars and things that you're putting on your vision board, you won't actually work towards. Like if you want to own a house, a car, and all these different things, and you're horrible with money management and you're horrible with credit and your history or literacy in finances, you're going to have a hard time getting those things or maintaining those things. And on the other hand, you might get those things anyway and maintain them just because you wanted them, because ego spoke for you. Okay. And with that, you end up fucking yourself up in the end, or messing yourself up in the end. You end up putting yourself in a bigger hole so that the dream that you desired is actually not beautiful. It becomes a disastrous nightmare. So consider that. The biggest issue with vision boards is that we create a false reality for ourselves rather than a real vision of our futures. So think about that with any goal that you purpose to achieve. Okay. And so that's our food for thought quote for the day. We're going to go into our devotional, which is from My Earthly Branches, a 12-book devotional series. This month, we've been in the book called Completion. That's the focus, completion. And so we're at week 3 in this, and we are going from Ephesians 6. So I'm going to read 1 through 4, and then I'm going to skip down to 10 through 18. Okay, and we're going to talk about this too. Okay, so it says, children, obey your parents in the Lord, for this is right. Honor your father and mother, which is the first commandment, with a promise, so that it may go well with you and that you may enjoy long life on earth. Fathers, do not exasperate your children. Instead, bring them up in the training and instruction of the Lord. Okay? And I think here what I wanted to point out from 1 through 4 was that it was saying, obey. These are like key words in here. Obey your parents in the Lord. Okay? Children, obey your parents in the Lord, right? Honor your mother and father so that it may go well with you and that you may enjoy long life on earth. Okay? And it doesn't say what kind of parents you have now. It doesn't say what kind of parents you have. So you can still honor parents in particular ways. And I'm not going to go too far into that. Fathers, do not exasperate your children. Instead, bring them up in the training and instruction of the Lord. And so even there, just touching, I don't know why I chose these 4 to say something about, but I think we have to be mindful with how we treat each other. Okay? Because if we want our children to obey us, respect us, love us, admire us, and desire to be like us, then we've got to be those type of people that can pull that from them without instilling fear, without abuse, without provoking our children. They're children. Children are going to do what they're going to do. They're still learning. Even as adults, we're still learning. Okay. And so the first point here just says, in the way of completion, we know that God is a God of order. Just as he instructs children to obey their parents, he also instructs fathers. Fathers, do not exasperate your children. The daily focus here says, train up a child in the way they should go. And the question for the day here says, are you living a life worthy of your children to follow? That's something right there. Are you living a life worthy for your children to follow, or anybody for that matter? Because we all want to be the leaders. We all want to be puffed up. We all want our egos to be stroked. We all want to mean something to somebody. But are you being something that somebody could desire to achieve? Okay? Are you living a life worthy of your children to follow? So specifically, parents and those who are parent models, okay? Are you someone you would want and hope your children would follow or grow up to be? Where are your values? Where are your morals? What about, and really, I don't even care about that stuff. I really care about your integrity and your behavior. You know, are you like kids model what they see? Can they model after you based on what they see? I've had a conversation of maybe about a month or so ago about the fact that, some some fathers work, 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 right? Or they call everything that they do working. Whenever they're away from home, they tell their kids, I'm working, I'm busy, I'm working. Never actually sharing what they're working on, never actually sharing the process of the work, just telling their children that they're working. Well, in that, all your children know from your example is that you're absent. And then those fathers may want the respect of their children as the father, as the provider, as the whatever, but you're not spending time with your children. You're not teaching your children about what you're doing. You're not sharing your life with your children. And this can go for mothers and fathers. You're not, if you're just gone all the time and you're constantly saying, oh, I'm at work, I'm at work, I'm at work, or I had something to do. Children take that as you're never here. You're never here. And so for you to expect that they honor you and for you to expect that they just will bow down to your every word or whatever because you feel that you do X, Y, and Z, or you're at whatever such level or hierarchy of things, be mindful. Just be mindful that the kids don't see it from your lens. They're not with you. All they see is you walk out the door every day. All they see is your back. You leave them all the time, which is a form of abandonment. If they don't understand why you're leaving or what you're doing, all they know is you're gone. All they know is you left. So, in some aspects of that, it's almost like, how dare you expect me to behave this way when I see you doing this? That's all I know what to do. Kids do what they see. They model after what they see. If they don't see you cleaning up, with them or just cleaning up your own stuff and you expect them to do it, guess what? Kids model after you. You always have a hard time with that kid because that kid does what you do. That kid's not doing what you're telling them. That kid does what you're doing. And so this is why it's important that you train up a child in the way they should go. Training is not just talking. Training is teaching. Training is showing. And so be mindful of that. Be mindful that yes, we want our kids to obey. We want to train them up in the way we hope they would go. But that we are their first look at adulthood. We're their first look at parenthood. Okay? We're their first look at friendship. All of those things. So be mindful of that. Train up a child in the way they should go. And are you living a life worthy of your children or the children around you to follow? And not even just children, young people, y'all, young adults. Are you living a life that young people aspire to? And not even that bullshit trap life or, being free and out here doing all the stupid shit that one day you're going to be done with that phase. Please don't encourage children or young people to live a life you hope to one day get out of. That's all. Be mindful. Be mindful of that. Okay. So the next portion here is Ephesians 6:10-18. And we all know this, I think. Okay. This says, finally, be strong in the Lord and in his mighty power. Put on the full armor of God so that you can take your stand against the devil's schemes. For our struggle is not against flesh and blood, but against the rulers, against the authorities, against the powers of this dark world, and against the spiritual forces of evil in heavenly realms. Therefore, put on the full armor of God so that when the day of evil comes, you may be able to stand your ground. And after you have done everything to stand, stand firm then with the belt of truth buckled around your waist and the breastplate of righteousness in place, and with your feet fitted with the readiness that comes from the gospel of peace. In addition to all of this, take up the shield of faith with which you can extinguish all flaming arrows of the evil one. Take the helmet of salvation and the sword of the Spirit, which is the word of God, and pray in the Spirit on all occasions with all kinds of prayers and requests. With this in mind, be alert and always keep on praying for all the Lord's people. Okay? And if you all can hear my background, and you may hear a lawnmower, and I apologize for that, but I can't control what other people do outside. So if you can hear that, my apologies. So let's get to the daily points here with this, okay? Let me see. Point number 3 says, fighting in the flesh will only get you so far. It may even make matters worse. Put on the full armor of God and fight against the true enemy. Our battle is not with one another. And so with that, y'all, I would just say this. Learn, because I'm learning it myself, and it's very beneficial. Learn not to take things personal, okay? Learn to not take things personally. My little brother told me, and I may have shared it with you guys before, he said, it sounds like an issue, not an ish me. Okay. And so when people have their own problems, their own days, they're having a tough time, or they're spewing insults, or they just want to fight, guess what? That's not my problem. I would love to support you. However, that's your issue. That's not mine. You know, and I don't have to take on, you don't have to take on, listeners, you don't have to take on insults, slander, put downs. You don't have to take on or internalize any of those things. You can see past them and see that sometimes people project what they're feeling. And if that is their true thoughts about you, that's still not your problem to deal with. That's their problem to deal with, because that might make them feel ugly on the inside, or make them feel great about themselves, which is sad, altogether anyway. And so it's not an issue. Learn to not take things personally, but put on the full armor of God, and fight against the true enemy, you know, which the enemy wants you to think that it's you're the problem. Okay. So stand strong against the enemy and evil. Okay. And here the question for the day says, how long will you trust in your own strength alone? Okay. How long will you trust in your own strength alone? And so that's where it's like praying, you know, it said pray without ceasing. And on all occasions, pray, and pray in the Spirit, right? And praying doesn't have to be formal, y'all. It can be formal, but praying can be pray without ceasing, literally. Pray about everything that happens. If you want something, like, Lord, I hope this tea is good. That's me, y'all. Lord, I hope this cup of tea is amazing. You know, God, I thank you that you're going to clear up my sinuses. You know, pray without ceasing. Okay. Thank you for the activity of my limbs. God, I thank you that all my children are awake, eating. We have food. We have heat. We have all the things that we take for granted each day of life, y'all. We've gotten to the point in this life as a unit, everyone. We've gotten to the point where the basic necessities are now taken for granted. The things that we have on a day-to-day basis, we take those for granted. We're not praying in thankfulness. We're not praying to continue to having them because we feel entitled to it. Oh, I feel entitled to the sunlight. Oh, I'm going to do it when the sun comes up in the morning. Well, you don't know if you're going to see the sun come up in the morning. Okay? You're not entitled to that. You're not entitled to breath in your body, your system's properly working. We're not entitled to those things. We got to pray without ceasing, and also have more gratitude towards life. Okay. So point number 4 says, when forcing hard trials and wickedness, be unmoving. And it's supposed to say facing. When facing hard trials and wickedness, be unmoving. Stand on truth. Stand firm in faith. Clothe and strengthen yourself with the word of God. Okay. The daily focus here says, we are nothing without God. And the question for the day says, why are you moving? Stand. It says, stand firm then. Okay. Stand firm then, that you may see. Okay. Point number 5 says, you will need your faith. You will need your own helmet of salvation. You will need the word of God, which is the sword of the spirit, and you will need to be praying. Okay? Daily focus here says pray without ceasing. Okay? And the question for the day here is, what is your prayer life like? Listen, y'all, you can pray like David did. You can pray 3 times a day. You can pray 1 time a day. You can pray for hours on end. Okay? But what is your prayer life like? If you don't have that, if you don't have a prayer life, you can always just start with implementing something like, okay, before I had children, myself and one of my best friends, we used to pray at 12:34, because it was 1, 2, 3, 4. We used to pray at 12:34 every afternoon. Every afternoon we started praying at 12:34. So if you don't have a prayer life and you kind of just want to start praying, you can pick a time of day and just be intentional about it. Like, God, I don't know what to say here, but I'm here. And praying is really talking to God. You can just be open and honest and authentic with God. You can, get on your face on the floor and cry out to God if you need to in a safe space. If you need to do those things, then go ahead and do them. Okay. Because God's waiting and ready to hear from us at all times. And sometimes if you just sit there, I used to wonder when I was fasting, um, what's wrong? What am I doing wrong? And one of my friends said, well, maybe you need to stop speaking when you pray. Maybe you just need to just show up for prayer, because I was having a hard time getting up for it. And I was just like, what is the problem? And she said, maybe you're trying to pray and you don't have the words. Maybe you just need God's presence. Sometimes we just need God's presence, y'all. Okay. And so that was from Earthly Branches, a 12-book devotional series on completion. Okay. And that was week 3 of that. And this book can be found at my website, www.stalkyourdestiny.com/shop, as well as amazon.com. You can find all of my books on my website, stalkyourdestiny.com/shop, or at amazon.com. Okay. So that's all for our devotional time. And now more about Stalk Your Destiny and stalking your destiny, guys. Okay. If you're really interested in like having a better life or managing your life better, if you're really interested in learning how can I be more accountable to myself, or how really can I get this life that I put on my vision board? Like, what can I do? What steps can I take? You want to sign up for my ABCs to Stalk Your Destiny classes. Okay. There's no age limit on here. There's, I think the younger you have to be is, you just have to be old enough to do the work. And I do this leadership course in schools, even with middle school students. However, I would suggest high school students and above, or just adults, register for the classes online. Okay. And those classes online it's an 8-week course. And so with the classes broken up online, you don't have to take all 8 classes if it doesn't apply to you. With them being broken up, we literally go from A to Z of stalking your destiny. And so each class goes over a different portion of the ABCs to stalk your destiny. And in that, we do work as well in terms of figuring out what does your perfect day look like, figuring out your roadmap to success, which is your 10-year, 5-year, 3-year goals. We literally break down your 1-year goals into applicable steps over a year's time. Okay. And so we identify your obstacles, help you overcome those things and all that. So all of the classes are tangible resources and tools for you. And it's a small class. So it's with me live. You get to ask me questions and you can talk this thing out a little bit as well. So you guys can register for the ABCs to Stalk Your Destiny. You can register. You can tell a friend to register, or you both can register for 2 for 1 on the classes as well. If you're really interested and you know someone else that should do it with you, do the 2 for 1 special for the classes at www.stan.store/stalk-your-destiny. Again, that's www.stan.store/stalk-your-destiny. destiny. And yes, I did say that you can find the link there and go to register, and you can register for 2 for 1. 2 people can attend for the price of 1, but you got to get registered. Classes are every Thursday. One's offered at 11 a.m. Central Standard Time. The other one is offered at 1 p.m. Central Standard Time. Those are 2 separate classes. So be sure that whatever class or whichever week you register for classes, that is the portion that you want to register for, that those topics are the topics that you would like to go over. Okay? So again, that's www.stand.store/stalk your destiny, and register for your ABCs to Stalk Your Destiny class today, and tell a friend and bring a friend. Okay? Business topic of the week today. Our business topic of the week is faith without work and vision without action. Okay? And yep, that stems from exactly what we talked about just a little while ago. We talked about the biggest issue with vision boards, and we talked about praying without ceasing. It's weird too, because it's also like you have a vision and then you're praying against it. That's really funny to me. You have a vision and you're praying against the vision. You're not actually praying to do the work that brings forth what you want. And that's something too, y'all. As a coach with Stalk Your Destiny, I can identify distortion. I can identify distortion or delusion as well. And so faith without work, the Bible says that faith without works is dead, right? But here I'm literally talking about doing the work to go towards what you're believing for. Okay. It would be crazy for me to say, oh, I want to host classes on the ABCs to Stalk Your Destiny, and I don't have the ABCs to Stalk Your Destiny. Like, I don't even have a book, because I didn't write the book, because I didn't do what God told me to do, right? That would be crazy. Like, I just want to have this class, and people do it all the time, y'all. People talk all the time about what they want to do. I know you guys have heard people talk all the time. Oh, I just want to do this, or I just want to do that. And you're like, well, when are you going to do it? Well, what are you going to do about it? And then they just want to talk about it. Oh, well, it's going to look like this. And so many people are going to come and they just feel you this fluffy bullshit. Okay? Having faith is wonderful. Putting action behind that, having a vision without action, right? Vision without action. It's kind of funny because I didn't write this part down, but the vision without action reminds me of Habakkuk 2. And in Habakkuk 2, he said, I stood, watch, or I sat on my post, depending on which version you read. Either it says I stood there or I sat and waited to see what God would say. Okay. And then it says that the Lord was spoken, said, write the vision and make it plain so that a herald may run with it. Okay. So if you just wrote the vision and made it plain and there was no action behind it, no one came for it, no one knew it existed, nothing happened, the heralds run with the vision. And you can be the herald, okay? But whoever is assigned to bringing that to the forefront needs to be able to put the action behind the vision, because a vision without action is just a piece of paper with a note on it. That's it. It's just a piece of paper with a note on it. Maybe it would spark an idea for someone else who reads it. Maybe they would put action behind it, okay? But also, Hebrews 11:1 says, now faith is the substance of things hoped for. The substance. Think about that. The substance of things, like it has depth to it, right? What you're hoping for can't just be surface. It's the substance of things hoped for, right? It's almost like you can feel it. Okay, there's weight to it. There's weight to this substance, right? And so the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. Okay, nobody saw God talk to me and tell me to write these devotionals. Nobody told me to do that. And they're small too. They're so tiny. They're monthly devotionals, right? Nobody saw God tell me to write them, but this is the evidence of it. The evidence of things not seen, right? And the hope was I wanted a tool that could help people with their fasting time and focus more on the topics at hand while they're fasting. Just a tool for fasting, right? That was what I hoped for, right? The evidence of things unseen is the book is produced and available, and it's a tool for fasting. Okay? So if we know that now faith is the substance of things hoped for, what are you hoping for? What are you hoping for? Have you lost your hope? Because I know what that's like. I lost my hope a few months ago. I shared with you all that I had lost hope. I had lost hope, but I got it back. I got it back, right? So what are you hoping for? Where is your faith? Where is your faith? Okay? Because now if we're going to do these vision boards, y'all listen. I know it's April 1st, and not April 1st. It's not April 1st. I know that we're in the month of April. It's April 21st, actually, right now, as I'm recording this live. It's April 21st, right? And I know that the American calendar would have us believe that January 1st is a new year, but also there are other new year celebrations in the month of April. Okay? And so in that, it's on point really to be talking about vision for your future and a starting point, a new beginning. Even now, we're in the spring season now, okay? And so newness is happening all around us. Flowers are blooming, trees are getting their green back, grass is growing green again. Okay? Life is happening all around you. Now, if you have the faith or you're talking that talk about having faith, what are you going to do? And yes, you can have faith and still be low on hope. You can have faith and you can be low on hope, okay? So, what do you do about that? How do you still go forward in that? I would tell you to go forward just one step at a time. I would tell you just to have grace with yourself, okay? But having vision and no action, listen, nothing, and I thought about this, I think this morning, it was just a random thought, but nothing comes to a sleeper except a dream. And a dream is a dream is a dream is a dream. It just is. Okay? Unless you put action behind that dream, unless you look up the specific details of what that means to you, unless you place that into action in your life to try to bring it forth, then it's simply a dream. It's okay, that sounds good. It stays there with you or it dissipates, you know? Have you ever had a dream that you just knew, right? I had a dream last night. I replayed it multiple times this morning, and right now I probably couldn't recall it because I didn't write it down, right? We're going back to that. Write it down. I didn't write it down. I did not put the action behind the dream. I didn't write it down. Now I can't recall it, which means I can't go back and apply whatever it was that I learned in that dream to my life now. Do y'all see how these things come together? Okay, how they work together. Okay, faith, work, vision, action. Okay, they all work together. And so, in protecting your vision, um, ooh, in protecting your vision, I also had a thought today about a new project. I guess you all know, yes, I am a writer. I have over 13 books published. But what you may not know is that one of my books is being considered for the movie screen. Okay, and television is being considered, okay, as a movie and series. And so with that, I had protecting your vision. I had a thought this weekend about a new idea, a new movie idea, or I don't know if it's a series, but I thought of it as a new movie idea or a new book idea or both. Okay, and so in that, I just determined today that I was like, I'm not going to share what it is with anybody. Usually I tell people around me, hey, I'm working on this project. It's about XYZ. Or hey, I'm working on that. Or I had a thought about this. What do you think? This particular project that I thought of this weekend, I haven't muttered a word about it. And there's something to that because you would wonder, like, well, why not? I don't have a reason. I just have the notion. I just had a thought. I just had a nudge. Don't share this one out loud. Don't share this one out loud. Okay. And so what that is me protecting the vision that was given. Now I wrote down some notes because I have to go back to it and put it into action. So I wrote down notes for myself to go back to cultivate that. Okay. But in protecting it, I'm not sharing what the details of that project are. I'm not sharing the basis of it. Okay. Because I have to protect that. Now, that doesn't mean that if you have an idea or something that you're not supposed to tell somebody about, but be prayerful, okay, about who you connect with on your projects. Be prayerful about who you partner with in terms of your dreams. Even just a pivot left away from where you were headed, the direction you were headed from your destiny allows you to forfeit your destiny. A pivot left and you keep going straight, or you take another pivot, is really taking you off track to where you're destined to be. Okay. And do we know that all things work together? Yes. Yes. Will you reach your intended end? I believe yes. I believe you will. Okay. Because I do believe that all things work together. Now, was that path the path that was lined out for you? Could be not. We have free will in that. We have free will in choosing which way on this journey we're going to go, but at the end of it, you're still going to get to the end of it. Okay. So work it out and take action. And what does that look like? Working it out and taking action. That means sitting with your faith. That means examining, where is my faith? And if I've lost faith, where do I need to work that out at? And if I'm pretending that I just have, oh, I have all the faith in the world, God's going to do it, God's going to do it, then what are you avoiding? What are you avoiding? Because I'm not saying that everybody has to have something bad going on in their lives, but I am saying that in being real, you face good and bad things every day. And you can have faith. I have more faith than most of the people I know. And I can say that to you all because they say it to me all the time. All the time. They tell me how my faith has changed their lives. But guess what? Even in having big faith, I get weighed down. Even in having big faith, I get discouraged. I lose hope sometimes. I told you, I lose hope. But I never stop moving forward in action. And maybe that's what they see. That no matter what happens, no matter when I'm really good, y'all, when I'm really good, I probably work even more because I'm so excited. You know, I'm blessed to be doing what God has called me to do. And, you know, it may not have me, you know, the sacrifice of it may not have me in the most, you know, wealthiest financial situation today, but the sacrifice is for tomorrow. Okay. And I had a thought about that as well. Imagine a couple. Let me see. Somebody said something. Hi, Sheila. She said, I would agree that your faith is very strong through your voice. Blessings to find your show on this station. Thank you, Sheila. And sorry, I had to put the phone up to my face to see the message. But yes, my faith changes lives. Okay. But I have to get up every day and keep going. I have to keep taking steps forward no matter where my faith is. And like I said, because I'm blessed to get up and do what God purposed me to do. I'm not at my final destination of life in terms of the levels of my destiny, but I am in my purpose going towards my destiny. Okay. Most of us are not in our purpose. Most people are doing what we're good at doing or what we like to do, not acting in your purpose. I get to wake up every day and act in my purpose, which the sacrifice of that was low income at first. Okay. And there was income. Actually, I was blessed with clients from at the beginning of things. But when you transition and follow your faith, sometimes you got to give up everything in order for God to restore it. Everybody wants the Job story. Everybody wants double portion and double for your trouble when you ain't been through nothing. You ain't been through nothing. And people are like, well, you don't know what I've been through. You don't know my hardship. Nobody cares. I'm going to be very honest with you. Nobody cares. Because you have to care. You've got to be the one to get a support system around you. You've got to be the one that say, in spite of this, I still want hope. I still want my faith to work for me. Okay. If you don't work, you know what they say, people will bless you while you move. Okay. We bless those who bless themselves, right? We support those who support themselves. Get up and get after your vision, because the people that see you doing it along the way, they will support you. And the support may not always be financial support. It may not always be words of affirmation. I'm saying it could be all these different things. It could be financial. It could be words of affirmation. It could be um, acts of services. It could just be encouragement. It could just be, hey, I see you, or I shared what you're doing with somebody else, right? Or, man, I had a friend that was going through a hard time, and I shared your story with them. And man, that really changed their life. Like, they got up off that couch, they put that bottle down, they decided to go to rehab. You know, he or she decided to be a better spouse. You know, be authentic to who you are, okay? But don't lose your faith, okay? Sometimes you may get low, sometimes your hope may get low. But if you have a vision, if God has given you a vision for your life, which if you're watching this, I believe you do have a vision for your life. Okay. I believe that God intended you with a purpose. Okay. To do and or be someone in this world that connects to somebody else, that, okay. Many members, one body. I say it all the time. Many members, one body. But keep your faith and figure out the steps towards your intended end. Okay. And if you can't do that, then sign up for the ABCs to Stalk Your Destiny classes, because you're gonna need help. You're gonna need support. And your chaos will not scare me. I am a life coach. My job is to support you. I am a chaos coordinator. My gift is to be able to organize your chaos into one picture where you can have a clear way forward. So if you need support in that area, that is why I do what I do. Okay. So those classes are available for people like you. Okay. But work your faith. There's a song by J Moss. It's on the J Moss Project, which is a really old album. And it is called Work Your Faith. But that whole album, the J Moss Project, I believe is around increasing your faith. Okay. And it's worship. Okay. It's worship music, but it envelops the emotions you may go through when you're having a hard time with your faith. Work your faith, y'all. Keep on believing. If nobody believes in you, just try to believe in yourself. Okay. Try to put one step in front of the other every day. Okay. And try to find that gratitude. Life can be hard, it can be tough, it can be challenging, but it can be fun, it can be rewarding. It can be very, very beautiful. It can be very beautiful. So let it be beautiful. Okay? Have your faith, have your vision, get up and get after it. I'm in pain all the time, y'all. And I'm gonna say this because I don't know why, but for somebody, I am in pain all the time. And I got a massage the other day, and my massage therapist said, "What's going on with your thumb?" And I was like, "I don't know what you're talking about." She said, "You don't feel that?" And I said, "Feel what?" She said, "Oh, I forgot. You're in pain all the time. So you're used to it. And you wouldn't notice if there was a new pain because you carry pain all day." Okay? That's fine, but that's also indication of a problem. Okay? However, the point of me sharing that is to say this: I am in pain every day. And every day I still get up and do what I can do, because every day I'm grateful that I can get up and do what I can do. And on the days that I can't get up, on the days that I have partial paralysis, I'll just say that. On the days that I have partial paralysis, I'm thankful that I can still do something, that my mind still works, my computer still works, the internet still works. I can work, my voice still works, my heart still works. Okay. So again, you can get down and out, you can be down on yourself. You are not incapable. You are very capable. God brought you this far with purpose and intention. You matter. You matter. And you have value. Okay. So keep your faith, increase your faith, get around people who love and care about you. And if all you can do is one step, then all you can do is all you can do. Okay. And that's not my quote. I heard that somewhere. All you can do is all you can do. I don't know who said that. That's not my quote. I wish it was. But do what you can. Okay. And that is a wrap for us on this business talk topic of the week. Okay. Now, guys, if you love the show and you want to support the show, or you know some people who have a business or company that they want to advertise, they have an event coming up maybe, or you just want to do a shout out, we would love to have you sponsor an ad or add space on the show. We have had consistently over 200,000 listeners live, y'all. This show is a live radio show. It's internet radio. So we've had over 200,000 listeners live consistently. And we are also on YouTube, Facebook, and we'll try to, I don't know if we're going to try to get on any other platforms. However, I say that to say if you know people who need that exposure or want that exposure, then this would be a great spot for them to sponsor and add on the show so that what they're doing can be heard somewhere else, right? The vision, okay? And let a herald run with it. Let us be that herald for you. If you're interested in sponsoring an ad for your company, your business, your product, your service, your event, or just a shout out, email me at teatimewithtara@gmail.com. I would love to share with you our sponsorship packages. I would love to hear what you have going on, okay? And soon, guys, soon we will be offering for you to come on the show with me for the business topic of the week. We'll be offering that as well soon. So be on the lookout for that as well. Again, if you would like to sponsor the show or you know someone that could use a sponsored ad or ad space, please have them email me at teatimewithtara@gmail.com. That's TEATIMEWITHTARAH@gmail.com. Now, if you just love the show and you decide that you just want to send a donation in, you don't really want to sponsor the show, you just want to donate to the show, Sheila said, oh my gosh, I might do that. I'm very shy though. Well, still, shy or not, if you want to be a guest on the show, we will offer that soon. I'll give you guys details of that probably next week. I'll give you guys details about how to do that, Sheila. We would love to have you. You already comment on the show, so it's just a conversation with me as well. But if you want to donate to the show, you don't really want to sponsor an ad, you can donate via Cash App at $Stalk Your Destiny. You can donate at Venmo at Stalk Your Destiny, or you can visit paypal.me/Stalk Your Destiny as well. Okay, so that's Cash App, Venmo, or PayPal, where you can make your donations via Stalk Your Destiny. That's STALK. Okay, so we'd love to have you as a sponsor on the show. Be on the lookout. Probably next week, I'll give you information for how to become a guest on the show for the business topic of the week. And gosh, I think that's it. I don't know what I was about to say. I lost it. I'm sorry. I'm tired. Either way, thank you guys for tuning in today. I hope that you have a beautiful, beautiful week. This has been Tea Time with Tara, live and on air. I'm your host, Tara M. Williams, the voice of faith, hope, love, and leadership. Here we discuss business and Bible basics. We believe you have a voice and it needs to be heard. Don't forget to head over to my YouTube channel at Stalk Your Destiny. Hit the subscribe button. Share this with somebody else. Let them know. We do this live every Monday at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on BFAM 1096.com, as well as live on YouTube and BFAM 109.6 Facebook page as well. When you head over to my YouTube channel, be sure to check out past shows of Tea Time with Tara, live and on air. And also check out the Tea Time with Tara show, where I interview guests about what they need on their journey to stalking their destiny. And you guys, we will have a special interview uploaded soon to my YouTube channel as well. So be on the lookout for that as well. If you want to connect with me on social media at Instagram, I am Stalk Your Destiny Official. At Facebook, it is Tara M. Williams. And on TikTok, it is Stalk Your Destiny. Again, I am Tara M. Williams, the voice of faith, hope, love, and leadership. Thanks for tuning in today, guys. I'll be back here next Monday, 2 p.m. Eastern Time. Hope to see you there. Bye.
I'm steady chasing, I'm staying focused on what I'm gonna be. I'm making that down, but I won't lose ground. 'Cause I'm still stuck in my destiny. I'm still stuck in my destiny.
Every time it's on everything, alive, you cheesing, I'm cheddaring. No matter the form of the weaponry, gotta keep stalking my destiny. Time's getting worse, I'm bettering. My sin is secure, ain't no tethering. I ain't gonna stop till I rest in peace and they put a hold on my great lettering. Every time, I ain't lay back unless I'm in my 300. Circle is little, cause I keep it 100. Minus my issues, I'm so hard when I'm on it. 100% ain't enough, I get 200. Every time, know what I'ma run from. I'm that one opponent, you don't want none from. Manual valve, my strength get pumped from. So let's go ride to a child of God. Standing toe to toe, no hiding out. The Lord is with me, you can't fight the rock. I got the sauce, you want my to hide. The destiny mine, I'ma stalk it out. The strength is happening, you just bought it out. Your giant carcass, I'ma walk it out. You gon' be wishing that you wouldn't have called me out. Cause every time be on that throw down, let's get us a showdown. Come and get some, I got another go around. Big as it is, so hard they go down. Since destiny something we can't change, but quitting will stop you from great gains. And faith will make capable great things. I done decided to break pain. Lives around and call me on my A game. So it's me like the A train. The path that I'm stalking on, I gotta maintain. I'm by myself, I don't gang bang. When you want to get in my crown, then I'm down every time, not just now and then. Yeah, I heard you got your thousands, but me, yo, I got my 10,000s. God gave me dreams doing that, I would chest it.
I'm steady chasing, I'm staying focused on what I'm gonna be. I'm making it up, but I won't lose ground. 'Cause I'm still stuck in my destiny. I'm still stuck in my destiny.